Hey y'all, coming to you from the headquarters of ScottieDTV, but I was at the 2018 Detroit Autorama and I shot a 67 Camaro. It has a Holcomb interior in it, so it's one of those ones kind of like where we interview him back in the shop and we're shooting a car in Detroit. I think that's a kind of a cool thing to do. But anyways, I think y'all are gonna like it. Let's take a quick look at it. Sean, thanks so much for giving me some time today to tell me about this Camaro, brother.
No problem.
Tell me, what have you done to it?
We've got about 12,000 hours of customization done to the car, just total metal body kit, chopped and tucked everything.
Right. Now when you say kit, was that something you bought or something you made?
We built it, and if you look, the car has a theme to it that all the lower body kit on the doors and on the lower rockers matches the trunk, matches the front end, matches the rear end. We kind of tied it all in. Many hours of designing this to make it flow so you couldn't tell that there's you don't want to look at the car and you don't want to see anything obviously stick out. You want to look over the car and say it looks decent, that looks nice, everything flows real well, and then you want to sit there and look at the car for about an hour, and then you want to see the subtle changes that we have done to the car.
Tell me a few of the subtle changes you've done. The body kit's the obvious.
The body kit's the obvious. The door handles, that was a tough one we did. We have push button door handles on there, and everything is in a rectangle. It's a soft rectangle. If you look at the exhaust holes, if you look at the reverse lights, if you look at the blinkers, if you look at the door handles, everything has a theme to the car, and so we try to keep that throughout the whole car, and everything is a percentage of itself. So the exhaust holes, the door handle is about a 2/3 percentage, or 67% of the exhaust hole, and in doing that, we felt that the car would flow a lot better, and everything would look more appealing to the eyes.
So what do you do? Just stick your thumb on that door and it opens up, or how's that work?
You push it in about a 1/2 inch and then it pops the door open.
Okay, no, it's very cool. Is that something that's off a late model car? Or?
We designed it, we built it all, we just thought of an idea and went with it.
Right.
I've done, I don't know, probably 15 custom door handles, and this was one in the list, and we liked it. It worked out well, and it looked good on the car.
Oh yeah, very cool feature for sure. Steve, you and the boys rocked another one.
Thank you, Scotty. Appreciate it.
Tell me what you guys did to this one.
Well, this one's a little bit different than what we normally do. It's not going to have any shiny metal in it at all. So if you see any shiny, right now it's all going to be painted black. Sean's going to take it back and black it all out. So the interior in this one's just going to be all black with a red stitch. Yeah, we used an accent in the material, an accent in the color. It's still black, but you can tell the difference in the center of the console, and then the center doors, and then the seats.
Used a different material in the door centers.
Just on the door centers, yeah, and in the center of the console, just to sort of give it just a little bit of a texture look.
Right.
And then, incorporated the TV screen and, made it come up around the dash, and put his window switches in there. Again, he's going to take all that out and paint it black. So, I mean, this would just be
But I like how that console comes up on the dash.
Oh,
like
yeah.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be neat.
It's like 3D.
Mm-hmm. Almost like, sort of a factory theme, but dimensional.
Right. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Is that normally you don't put them so that the console comes to the outside of the dash like that, and I like that because it fits. It goes all the way to the top.
Yeah, we took a set of bucket seats in the front, contoured them the way we want them. They're a little bit more edgy looking than what normally do, and we put a little bit more angles because the car's got a lot of really sharp angles on it.
Right.
So we tried to get a little bit more of an angular aspect to the interior also, instead of just all round. So it sort of flows with the exterior of the car. With what he did there, he's got a lot of sharp angles on all of his paint and stuff.
Yeah, and I think that's important to pay attention to, you guys, is look at how all the stitching comes together. It's not all the stitching, it's just the stitching that makes a cool design, like where the console and the seats and everything comes together. It all blends. But these seats have other stitches, like up here on the top or whatever, that Steve decided not to make red, just so that the design would show up. I think, man, it works well.
Yeah, and if you notice on the inserts of the seats, it's all sewed together first and then gone around in French seams, so none of the French seams overlap each other.
No, I like the door sills too, right? Those are cool.
Yeah, blacked out looks good. Like I said, he's going for that stealthy look. Seat belts blacked out, the edges of them and everything.
And he did a nice job on that convertible top too.
Thank you. Again, that's all handmade. We had David from Key Auto Tops make us a back glass for this car. And if you notice, it's got a little bit of a red line in it, like the defroster that matches his car perfectly.
Right.
So
that's modern. That's like 2017.
Exactly. That's what it is. A new model Camaro.
Yeah.
But we had to do a little bit of modifications to get it to fit in the car. You can actually unzip this back window, lay the glass down inside the deep well and then lay the top down over top of it without unbolting the glass or anything.
I like what you did. They did with the color of the trimmer on the top too. It matches perfect.
And then we blacked out the little, like I said, everything that was shiny is going to be blacked out on this car. The trunk, we did pretty much the same thing. We did an accent backlighting, which is, I mean, you can tell this trunk is just pretty much stealthy looking. You know, nothing chromy or anything like that. But when we made flip down doors for the battery, cut off switch, and on the other side it has a storage compartment in it. And then underneath the floor, you can raise it up, and it's got a storage compartment under that also. And then the deck lid, we did it out of that material that has that textured feel to it.
Oh yeah.
Same thing with the square. We did a square look in that backboard to match his tail lights and everything. He's sort of got like a rectangular look going on theme in it.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
So when you're standing back from it and you look at it, you can sort of see all the rectangles.
That's right.
You know, nothing swoopy or anything because the car don't have any swoopy on it. It's more, you know, just a high-tech late model type of build.
Sharper angles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, I think it turned out nice. Tell me what's up under the hood.
Under the hood's an LS3, pretty much stock. We didn't do anything really crazy to that. We did do inner and outer inner fenders, wheel houses, and in between the two is where we hide all the computers, all the wiring, everything's tucked up in between the two. Then we got a nice radiator support, and then we got some custom valve covers on there, just kind of tie it all in. Even if you look in the engine bay, everything's in a third. There's bins every a third of the engine bay. And then it continues on to the underside of the roof, so our underside of the hood. So when you look on the underside of the hood, there's bins that match the engine bay bins.
Good. What about up underneath? What do you got going on up underneath?
We have a strange engineered 33 spline coilover rear end and just coilovers up front. We got a front pan underneath of it to cover up all the underside and a rear pan to cover up all the rear side from the wheels back and the wheels forward on the front pan. And then the belly of the car is just kind of stock with the exhaust is tucked up under nice and tight and everything's pretty clean under there.
Is that a stock? Well, it's a unibody, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So is it still a unibody or full chassis on there?
It's still a unibody. We connected frame connectors to connect it all. And the other feature about the car is all the sharp lines on the body. Right. If you look at every line on the body, they all come to 90s, which is absolutely ridiculously hard to build. And it just took so much time to make them crease, but what we thought it would end up doing would make that paint pop a little bit more, so that's why we went after that.
Speaking of the paint, what color is that?
It's a color we made in-house. I've been custom making paint for a while. It's 12 different layers, 12 different...
So it's not like tri-coat, it's like 12 coat.
12 coat.
Right.
Yeah, it's 12 stages to make that paint. The paint went from gray to white to silver to pink and then finally to red. So it was quite exhausting to paint it, but we wanted something a little bit different. The paint will go all the way from a real dark red all the way to a bright red whenever the sun hits it or the lights hit it just right.
Yeah, and tell me about the louvers and front fenders too.
The louvers, yes, we tried to build the car kind of like a race car, just a little bit, but we wanted an elegant looking race car kind of, right, without being too obnoxious. We ended up putting little louvers in the front just to give it a little more style. Right on. Same with the front pan and the rear pan, just to give it a little more style, but give that race car effect.
What size tires and wheels are you running?
We're running 19 ADV ones. They're race wheels. They're rated to 220 miles an hour, which will never do 5 miles an hour, so it's great. It's absolutely perfect.
So the car's not going to get driven much, you think?
No, this car is going to go, you know, if it was up to me, this car would go in my front room. I would just come home every day and it'd be in the front room of my house and I'd have a rope around it and that's what I would do with it. But we'll get with the owner and see what he wants to do with it.
And if people are wanting to follow what you do, what's the best way to do that?
The website.
Yeah?
Yeah, conceptsbyfineline.com.
You do Facebook or anything like that?
We don't. I'll get into that probably as soon as we quit building. We calm down in the shop building cars. We got
Once you get back from Detroit.
Once we get back from Detroit, we'll calm down on the...
When's the last time you slept?
That's a good question. That's a good question. I don't know. I haven't got any more than 5 hours of sleep in probably months. I talked my wife into cutting a little bit of my hair last night. I haven't cut it in a year and a half, but I said I'm getting the car done and then I'll go after my hygiene after that, I guess.
Right on. Well, brother, you rocked it, and I appreciate you giving me some time today.
Thank you. You're so kind. And I want to say thanks to Steve Holcomb for getting us in quickly and doing a great job on the interior. Absolutely astounded by that. So
he does a great job, doesn't he?
Phenomenal. Very, very great guy. Same with you, Scotty. You guys are good people.
I appreciate it. Thanks so much, brother.
All right. Thank you.
So there you go from the 2018 Detroit Autorama 1967 Camaro Convertible. Hope y'all have enjoyed it. See ya! Hey y'all, make sure you subscribe to this channel and visit ScottieDTV.com for an easy way to search the hundreds of videos I have posted. Either click the link in the description or the one at the end of this video.